This presentation will share initial findings from the pilot year of the 2021 School Climate Survey. In this presentation, background information for the 2021 School Climate Survey will be shared along with descriptive statistics, survey findings, and future steps. Specifically, the legislative requirements and purpose of the survey will be shared. Some important legislative requirements address the School Climate Survey. In accordance with Section 53G 88022, the State Board shall create a model school climate survey that may be used by an LEA to assess stakeholder perception of a school environment. The State Board provides recommendations for survey parameters, such as survey questions, distribution methods, sample size, etc. Section 53G 88023 states that nothing in this section requires an individual to respond to a school climate survey. The pilot year of the School Climate Survey was administered by local education agencies in schools between March 17 and March 7, 2021. Respondent groups included students grouped by grades, administrators, teachers, staff, parents, and school resource officers. There are two primary ways survey data is used. For USBE, in accordance with R2776234, data is utilized to measure and assess stakeholder perceptions of school environments through Utah and all K-12 public schools. LEAs use data to evaluate a range of aspects of the educational environment to assess perceptions and identify specific strengths and weaknesses within a school. The 2021 School Climate Survey was modeled after the U.S. Department of Education School Climate Surveys from the National Center for Education Statistics. Specifically, the student, instructional staff, and non-instructional staff questionnaires were used. So what are some of the initial findings from the 2021 School Climate Survey pilot year? Overall, Utah schools are safe, but we can improve them. Students had the lowest numbers in feeling safe at school. Most teachers feel safe, and parents feel their child is safe at school. Most students feel comfortable reporting a problem at school and are happy at their school. In this section, a demographic breakdown of survey respondents will be shared. 367,426 responses were recorded. Approximately 3/4 of responses were from students, and the remaining surveys were from adult stakeholders, such as SROs, certified classified staff, general education, and special education teachers. The School Climate Survey was administered to students in three groupings: kindergarten through 2nd, 3rd through 5th, and 6th through 12th grades. The graph below displays respondents by each grade level. The School Climate Survey was administered to different groups of adults based on their role in a school setting. More than 70% of responses were from parents or guardians. Most respondents were female. Students had equal amounts of participation by gender. Adult respondents were mostly female. Caucasian students had the largest rates of participation, which is reflective of Utah demographics. Due to their developmental age, grades with younger students, specifically kindergarten through 5th grades, were also provided the not sure response to this question. This graph displays adult respondents by race and ethnicity. In this section, participants' perceptions at school will be shared. Respondents were asked about their feelings of safety at school. On average, about 94% of all respondents feel safe at school. As a note, parents were asked how safe did they feel their child was at school. Parents were not asked how safe they themselves felt at school. Respondents were asked about feeling happy or like going to school. On average, about 85% of all respondents feel happy at school or liked going to school. K through 2nd students were asked if they liked going to school. All other respondents were asked if they felt happy at school. In this section, participants' perceptions of problems and reporting them are shared. Respondents were asked 16 questions about specific school problems. This graph groups these 16 questions into 6 general categories. Younger grades, kindergarten through 5th, were not asked any of these 16 questions due to their developmental age. About 25% of students and 10% of parents felt their school had problems. Breaking down the first two categories, 6 of 16 questions were asked concerning conflict and bullying. Bullying was the largest perceived problem at school for all survey groups. Younger grades, kindergarten through 5th, were not asked this question. Breaking down the next two categories, 5 of 16 questions were asked about abuse. 3 of these questions asked about abuse towards teachers. Older students reported the highest rate of issues of a sexual nature. Educators reported the highest rates of abuse towards teachers. As a reminder, younger grades, kindergarten through 5th, were not asked these questions. Breaking down the last two categories, 5 questions were asked about other crimes. Both students and educators reported tobacco vaping as the largest issue. Weapons brought to school had the lowest rates from all groups. As a reminder, this data was collected in the spring of 2021, and younger grades, kindergarten through 5th, were not asked these questions. 6th through 12th graders were asked questions about reporting a problem. More than half felt comfortable reporting a problem. Students felt the most comfortable reporting instances of bullying and signs of suicide, but they felt the least comfortable reporting substance use. In this section, participants' perceptions of bullying locations are shared. A total of 16 questions asked about locations of bullying. This graph groups these 16 questions into 3 categories. Younger grades, kindergarten through 2nd, were not asked any of these 16 questions due to their developmental age. 3rd through 5th grade felt that bullying occurred most often at school, while 6th through 12th grade felt that bullying occurred most often in mass public spaces. For the first category, 5 questions were asked about bullying via commuting to and or from school or through electronic communication. 3rd through 5th grades felt that bullying occurred most often through text. 6th through 12th grade felt bullying occurred most often on the bus. As a reminder, kindergarten through 2nd were not asked these questions. For the next category, 4 questions were asked about bullying in public spaces where large numbers of people can gather for a shared event. 3rd through 5th grades felt that bullying occurred most often at the gymnasium. 6th through 12th grades felt bullying occurred most often at a playground. As a reminder, K through 2nd grades were not asked these questions. In the last category, 7 questions were asked about bullying locations at school. Both 3rd through 5th grades and 6th through 12th grades felt that bullying occurred mostly on school property. As a reminder, K through 2nd were not asked these questions. In this section, survey findings about school resource officers are shared. SROs were asked questions about their years of experience and training. Most SROs have 0 to 7 years of experience, and about half have taken training offered by the Utah Commission on Criminal and Juvenile Justice. Respondents, not including younger grades nor SROs, were asked about questions about going to an SRO for help or feeling safe around an SRO. Most respondents felt that they could go to an SRO for help and that they were safe with an SRO at school. Not including the SROs themselves, adult respondents were asked about the role of an SRO. On average, less than half of adult respondents knew the role of an SRO. Nearly half of the parents did not know the role of an SRO. Most SROs felt that educators knew the role of an SRO. SRO respondents were asked about their responsibilities. Most SROs felt they often or occasionally spent their time conducting non-law enforcement activities. About 30% of SROs felt they are often or occasionally used unnecessarily to discipline students. SROs were asked additional questions of feeling valued and relationship building. Overall, SROs felt their role is valuable to the school climate and they build relationships of trust with all students. The next steps for the school climate survey are to conduct more analysis on well-being, such as protective and risk factors in educational student interactions, disaggregate findings by gender, race, ethnicity, and grade level, review questions to improve the school climate survey, such as clarifying defining constructs being measured or streamlining surveys to measure similar constructs. For questions regarding the school climate survey, please use the following information.